What's good people? I welcome you back again to another podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. Tonight, I have a very, very special and lovely guest tonight. I'm going to be interviewing the one and the only, the lady of my life, MsMarla Johnson. We're getting ready to have an evening of which I believe is going to be very fascinating, enlightening, and encouraging. So sit back, unwind, and relax, and let us do what we always do, and that's sit down and reason together, and might I add, using logic, deductive reasoning skills, and situational awareness. Don't go anywhere, folks. My interview with my lady is coming up in just a few moments. All right, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Yosef's 2 Cents. I'm your man, Yosef X, and I am really excited about tonight. As I said, I have a very, very special and lovely guest that I'm getting ready to interview tonight, and that is my lady, MsMarla Johnson. But before I bring her on the platform tonight, let me get all of my greetings and salutations and brief announcements on out the way so we can focus on the interview. I want to say to Brother Barron, my apologies, sir, for not acknowledging your born day during our virtual worship service on yesterday. I hope that you had a fantastic day on yesterday, and I hope that you continue to see many, many years to come. And you are one of the few good men that we have in the world left. And I'm certainly am not just saying this either. I'm saying this because it certainly is the truth. And a happy born day again. And my apologies for not remembering until after the service had concluded. Let's see. Let us continue to keep the entire James family in your thoughts, your prayers, and in your meditations. They suffered a very devastating and tragic loss in the family. And they are still reeling from that. So let us continue to keep them in your thoughts and in your prayers and meditations as well. Let's see, anything else? Okay. If anything comes to my mind, I'll be sure to make the announcement before we close out for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you our special guest for the evening. This lovely young lady is my sweetheart, and she is in the person of MsMarla Johnson. In addition to her being my lady, she is a very, very astute businesswoman. She is the CEO of her father's company. She has also a jewelry business, and she also has a couple of laundries that she is running as well. She is a wonderful mother. She is a wonderful aunt. She is also a motivational speaker as well. She is a jack of all trades. And it was her sister that introduced the two of us, I want to say 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I think when this pandemic was just getting started. So without further ado, I'm getting ready to bring her on. Getting ready to bring her on now. And I hope that she is ready. And I'm getting ready to bring her on right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to get her connected in a few seconds.
Hello?
Good evening, sweetheart.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. The question is, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing better. I had a good nap, so I'm doing better.
Naps are always good.
Yes.
I want to say thank you for coming on my platform. It's been a long time coming. A long time coming. It's been in the making. And I want everybody to know that this is going to be a very important interview. I think those that wanted to get to know you a lot better, that this is certainly going to be the time to do so. So why don't you tell all of us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, me and my family, we moved to the United States when I was about 6, 7 years old. Me and my siblings, when we first moved here, we were broke. We didn't have nothing but with some clothes on our backs. My dad, he started his little company. People working for him for free for like 4 years. No one was getting paid. And that's how we started off with the business and started off with getting us somewhere to sleep of our own and everything else. In the process, me and my siblings, we were in school and things like that, as far as a little girl. As an adult, I started my own business with my little jewelry company at the time. My dad didn't want me to go through having a storefront because he was saying the stores was getting robbed and he didn't want me to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept his word on that. And I had my first baby by my ex-husband, which he passed away in the service. And I haven't dated a lot. I just continue to go on with my life, my career, try to build it. But for me, so I started going to college, and then I started teaching in Decatur, Illinois. That's the first place we lived in the United States. Decatur, Illinois. Then I'm here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I expanded the business. And
which business? I'm sorry for interrupting, but which business did you extend or expound upon?
The one here in Raleigh, the factory in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I started off being a so-called employee of my dad when I asked him, can I be his little accountant? I was 15 years old, guys. 15 years old. And at the time, just when he first started getting money to pay his employees, and he was like, okay, Marla. And so I did it. And ever since then, I've been his little accountant. So I went to college for a private accountant. I went to, I just pushed myself. And, things started picking up from there. And I started doing motivational speaking with a lot of young ladies that I was teaching in school. I started off teaching in K5 through the third grade. Then I
Okay.
went from there and went to Chicago, Illinois for a little bit and to work for an algebra teacher in Illinois. And that didn't work out because those children they gave me a run for my money. And my life hasn't been easy. You know, um, it hasn't just been easy. To get where I'm at now.
I certainly, as well as those that are listening, can certainly understand that your journey, as well as anybody else's, certainly has not been easy. But you are certainly a testament to the fact that if you really, really desire to better yourself, you have faith in the supreme being, you have faith in yourself, eventually you will succeed at what you truly desire. And certainly you are a living, breathing testimony of that as well. And I also want to convey my condolences on the loss of your husband as well. I certainly know, as well as you know, you and everybody else knows that I too can identify losing a spouse. So but it's remarkable to see that you have bounced back tremendously. Tell us a little bit about first your dad's company, and then your jewelry business, and tell us a little bit more about what's going on in terms of the contest that's going on with your jewelry company. First, with your dad's company first.
Okay, my dad's company, he started off with just creating like things like things that's like for prisons, like the bed frames. It's still things like welding. So it was just expounding on building things and complement the city that we lived in.
Yes.
He built things like the bus stops, the seats where you sit on the bus stop, the bus shuttles, even the like when you do the intimates, when you contractors cutting grass, doing lawn work and things like that. We built all of that. And so I had to get out there and get more new clients because I was new into this too.
Yeah.
So with my team that knows more than me about the factory, I just kept it going. And I hired a good team. I have a good team to back me up. I have two assistants that's lovely. And what I don't know, they fill in for me.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process now of still getting new clients to build the factory company to keep the employees. That's why I push for this company because I don't want to let no one go. I don't want to have people lose their jobs because people need their livelihood for financial being.
Certainly.
And also in Illinois, years ago, I had started before COVID. I had started hiring students. They had a great high school student that started. They had a great average in grades, so they can work for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to get a contract for them, like cleaning like residential places and business places.
That's impressive because you don't find too many business people who has a mind and a heart for our young people. And speaking of young people, we're going to delve a little bit more into that in a few moments. Pastor Bond, good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Peace and blessings be upon you as well. It's really remarkable, I'll say, when it comes down to you inheriting your father's business, because you don't find too many people wanting to inherit their parents' business at all, let alone really wanting to work, having a work ethic that is barred to none, because people nowadays are very, very lazy. They're looking for a shortcut. They're looking for to do anything, the least amount of labor that they can. They're looking for that. But for you to inherit your father's business and to have other businesses, as well as being a motivational speaker, that bespeaks to your work ethic, which is also one of the reasons why I have the utmost respect for you, for your work ethic. Yeah. So how long, my dear, have you been CEO of your father's company?
6 years.
Okay.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 hard years.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
But it has, I can imagine it hasn't been all hard. It has had quite moments of sweet rewards. Obviously, it's doing very, very well. And
yes.
Tell us also about your jewelry company. How long have you had that company? And tell them about the contest that you're having this month.
Okay. I started the jewelry company. Really where I got it started off the ground. It's been off and on for 2 years, off and on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was still selling jewelry, like when private people would contact me or contact my jewelry designer.
Yeah.
And that's how I was selling like that. So it was like custom made jewelry, Indian jewelry.
Okay.
And also, I just started the contest with the men for Father's Day. It's only for Father's Day month. And it's where the men have to send in their best photo of dress. They don't have to be in suits. Whatever you think is best for you, that's the picture you need to send me. And no one personally that I know will be judging your photos. You don't, like I said, you don't have to be in a suit. You could be in shorts. You could be in whatever you want to be in. Just sit in your best and be cut up, hair looking nice, bald, whatever you wear. And we're going to give out some bracelets. So it's going to be 6 bracelets between the 18th of June to the 21st. So it's going to be 2 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Y'all hear that, gentlemen, right? So, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
To send in your photos, you either to send it in to Yosef Isaiah page, Benjamin page, or you can also send it in to Savannah's Jewelry's Diamond page. Or also you can send it in at MsMarla Johnson's Facebook page. And in between all those pages, I will get their photo and send it to where it needs to be sent.
And on my end as well, I will also continue to promote this on my YouTube channel as well, so that not only will I be promoting your business, but I'll be promoting the contest as well. And I want to make sure the contest officially concludes the 18th of this month. Is that right?
No, it's actually started on the 18th.
Oh, it starts on the 18th.
First. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it starts on the 18th and it concludes when?
On the 21st of June.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, you heard it from Lady Marla herself. So y'all got plenty of time to get those pics in. You can send it to my inbox and put it, so I can put it on my YouTube channel. I can put it on my page, or you can put it on Lady Marla's page or her business page as well. So we can make sure that we can get it out there, and hopefully it's going to be a huge success. Now, I want to ask, if I may, my dear, when your sister first told, yeah, you know that was coming. When your sister first told you about me, initially, now, what was your thoughts?
You want me to tell everyone what I told you?
However you want to do it. Express yourself. Just listen, relax, just be yourself. Tell everybody what you were thinking when your sister first introduced us.
Well, she kept on asking me, have I contacted you? And I said, no. And then she just kept asking me, and I kept on putting it off. And so I finally got on your page, and I started listening, and she was pushed me to contact you. And so I finally did. But then I was like, well, he's not my type, because of the words you were using, and you were just so bold, and you just wasn't my type. And then as we started verbally conversating with each other, we started messaging with each other, right?
Yeah, we started to inbox one another. Yeah.
Right. And then I started thinking, like, the way he talked on his page, on his videos, that can't be him inboxing me, because you just was real bold talking. So then as we started talking verbally over the phone, I would start digging you, because you started talking like I like to talk. And so that was catching my attention. And then so I said, well, he's not my type look-wise. But not saying that you're an ugly man. It's just you wasn't my type. And then you started growing on me, and you just started looking, could I say it?
Listen, we are all grown folk here. Ain't no children around, at least I hope not.
I was like, well, he's starting to look sexy to me, especially when you was cutting your facial hairs and, all that other stuff. And you were taking time with me. We was doing fun things. And a woman like myself, I don't need no man to spend a lot of money on me. I'm very simple. And the little time you were spending with me, the fun things we were doing together, that attracted me. The words you were saying. And one thing that really caught my attention, and I swear I fell in love, was when you started praying for me. Ladies, I am here to tell you, a man that's praying for you and you being intimate with him in the bedroom is a whole different type of feeling. Now, don't delete that out of your mind. This intimate is good also, but it's just that when he's praying for you every day, every night, then you start praying for your family, that's a good feeling.
It certainly is. And allow me to pause just a second to say, Daniel P., what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us tonight. And shout out to you, sir, because you're a local celebrity. Yeah, I've been, whenever I've been on this Blue app, I have been, scrolling a little bit. Haven't been on here recently, but the last time I did see you, before I decided to take a little sabbatical, I saw you doing your thing, man. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. Now, let me also say this. Gentlemen, especially you kleptogamists out here, since you kleptogamists enjoy pandering for vagina, let me say this to you. I know that some of you lurk. You look at my pages. Well, not my pages, but you look at my Facebook profile, you look at my YouTube channel, and the church group is private, so. But the fact is, you know how lovely and gorgeous Marla really is. I know how beautiful and gorgeous she is. I got eyes. I'm not so outrageous and I'm not so controversial that I don't see how beautiful she is. I was minding my business. I was just being who I am.
Oh, Lord.
And at that time, I'll admit to you, I was outrageous. I was controversial. I had the mouth of Peter. Still do. But I'm not as bad as I was before. But not once did I ever become a kleptogamist to win her heart. I was true to myself through and through. See, that's what I've been trying to get you all to understand. You don't need to pander, for the vajayjay. All you got to do is be yourself. All you have to do is be confident in the Most High, be confident in yourself. But you all are so socially awkward. You probably will walk up to a beautiful woman and start stuttering and start urinating all over yourself. But one thing is for certain. Now, lady, now, sweetheart, correct me if I'm wrong. But one thing that I will say about me, I've always have been myself. I didn't have to pander for nothing or nobody. I think that's also one of the reasons, in addition to me praying for her and praying with her every night, is I am comfortable in being masculine. See, masculinity is not always about beating the snot out of somebody else. It's not always about going down somebody's throat and saying stuff over the internet that chances are would probably get into a fist fight in real life, because I've always been one that if I'll say it behind the camera, I will say it to your face. That is how I've always been, and I still am like this. One of the things that about me that she finds attractive is I've always been authentic, or I've tried my best, and I prided myself to be as authentic as possible without crucifying my principles. Is that about right, dear? I mean, you tell me. I'm sorry?
I said that's correct, love.
See? And I'll admit, I've come and let me also throw this out here as well. I'm very, very protective of her. Let's not get it twisted. I'm very protective of her because there's predators out here. She knows that there's predators out here. Not just only on social media, but also in real life also. So when I talk the way I talk sometimes, and I keep her, well, not necessarily keep her behind in the shadows, but I know that there's a lot of dudes that doesn't have a code of honor. They don't have a code of hero, code of conduct, which I try my best to pride myself on. So, and if you would learn, once again, both the men and the women, by the way, if y'all would just learn to wing yourself off of social media, get the heck off of these groups that deliberately triggers you, because y'all go back and forth all day long arguing. Y'all hadn't even seen each other before. Chances are you don't even have plans to meet each other, just to go back and forth over and over and over and over again. I mean, for God's sake, stop being so socially awkward. Daniel P says, "Oh, thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. I sure will keep up the good work. All praises to you." Yeah, man. Keep doing your thing. My dear, let me ask you this as a mother. And you were the one that was telling me. But before we do that, let me say also initially what I thought. I always thought that you were a beautiful woman. I've always thought that.
Thank you.
I'm thinking to myself, now let's see how long this is going to last, because I know me. Because, listen, I'm being honest. I know me. I know how controversial I am. I know that I enjoy talking trash. A lot of this stuff I got from my father. I am, and in that regard, in that instance, I know for a fact that I am my father's son. And see, just like I'm bold, my father was bold as well. So a lot of the candidacies that I have, I get it from him. It's just genetic with me. Remember, I said, everybody acts their genetics. I'm just acting the way my father did. But initially, I thought to myself, she's a beautiful woman. And I wonder if she really is going to be attracted to me. I really want to know, because I was pondering this. Is she really attracted to me? Am I really her type? Because I know me. And for the most part, I'm not a lot of women's type. I'm just being honest. I'm not a lot of women's type, because I know me. But it's good to know that we have grown on each other, and we continue to grow on each other. We continue to grow and progress, and we still continue to get to know each other. But I want to know, by you being a mother, especially on, with the recent events, with all of these precious children being slain. I know when we were talking last night, when we were spending time together last night, I could hear the anger, and I could hear the anger and the pain in your voice due to the murders of these children. Tell us exactly, as a mother, how has the murders of these children? I'm hearing some feedback.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I'm hearing. Wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah. Tell us, as a mother, how do you how does this make you feel as a mother?
Oh my God, I'm gonna keep my words together because I have to try to relax from all this. It makes me feel saddened, really disturbed, untrustworthy with just people. Um, I still do empower women, no matter what their ethic is or whatever. I love to empower women, all ages. It's like my empowering by itself, there's no hope for these women.
Wow.
I mean, God will really have to come through and just cleanse this world. And it hurts. You already know, Joseph, I don't let my children go over no one house unless they're family.
Right.
I'm gonna say, to keep it short about that, I already let my children know I love them every moment I get. I work from home really since COVID came in. When I think about when my son Myron started school, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna quit my job. God gonna bless me to be able to run from my job that I'm punching in clocks to get to his attention right away. And that's what God did. He blessed me to be able to leave my position to run to him. But also, he did better than that. Just that he allowed me to homeschool him, and with the other children.
Right.
So it's just hard. You already know what everything I've been saying about these killers with these babies, these beautiful babies.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, and I look at these women's faces, they have no life. You look at their eyes, they have no life in them. I believe that they didn't want these babies from the get-go, even when they was carrying them in their bellies. They could have, because all these kids were little kids, toddlers.
Yeah.
It's just sickening. And then I spoke to you about the men. The men need to stop just producing babies and these devils, these women. You being intimate with these women, they don't even care about themselves. And then you make a mistake. I'm not going to say a mistake because you slept with them, you sleeping with them, you having sex with them. You producing a child into these women that don't give a care about nothing. And then they're killing your baby. It's just sad. And I think a lot of these men, they're insecure about themselves. They need to do a deep cleansing within themselves to find out who they are. They need to learn their identity so they can just stop sleeping with different women. Because sleeping with different women, you're not going to find yourself. You're just going to cause a lot of confusion, not just with you and that woman, but with your entire family. You hurt your family. Until you find out who you are, you're going to continue the pattern of sleeping with different women and then having babies by murderers. Because that's who you sleeping with, a murderer. So, it's just sad.
I hope that y'all are really listening very, very carefully to what Lady Marla is saying. Did y'all hear what she just said about sleeping with murderers? Did y'all hear that? Say that again, please, dear, for those in the back, because I don't think they heard you in the back. Please say that again.
Well, when you meet a female, a woman, and you just sleeping with random women, you don't know you sleeping with a murderer. You don't know she's a murderer. And she don't have to kill somebody that's already an adult. She already planned in her head before you even gave her your body oh, I'm going to kill this baby if I get pregnant. She already got it in her mindset. But all you looking at is, oh, she got a body. She's sexy. She pretty. Looks don't mean nothing. I told Joseph last night, I believe, that don't look at my outside. Look at me from the inside. Learn me. And he has been doing that. Don't get me wrong. But don't just look at me from the outside, because the outside can be anything, anybody. If that woman don't do the important things with you, like pray with you, love you, respect you, and a whole bunch of different other things behind that, she's no good for you.
In other words, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Marla is a champion of discipline. She is a champion of self-control. And it all goes to show that everything that I've been saying, everything that she's saying, I've been saying the same thing. I mean, we both believe that you have to be strategic in who you choose as a mate, as who you choose to lay down with, and possibly to spend the rest of your life with. There's a couple of observations, a couple more observations, I should say. The first one is from Daniel P. Says, children can feel it if you love or not in the womb. And then on the YouTube side, the James family asks, are you guys planning on committing fully together? We can both answer that. The answer is yes.
Yes, of course.
That's a given.
Yes.
That is a given. That is a given. And Daniel P. Yeah, children. I believe that also. Children can feel your love. Children can feel if you love or not in the womb. I believe it. Go ahead, lady. Go ahead, my dear. Go ahead.
Can I respond to Daniel?
Sure.
I agree with you 100%, Daniel. Because when I was pregnant with my first child, I used to rub my belly every chance I get. I used to pray with my child. I used to sing to him. I used to educate him, and every day. It ain't no way I can say, well, I didn't have time to love my baby when he's right there with me everywhere I go, 24 hours a day. My child, when he was going on 4 years old, believe it or not, he knew 4 different languages. I have ran through so many children teaching that a lot of these kids at that age, they don't even know how to talk, but they can sit up and teach these kids how to twerk, how to sing curse rap songs, how to curse out their fathers, how to disrespect their godparents. They don't even know how to pray. They don't even know how to say thank you, Jesus. They don't even know how to say their alphabet. Myron knew his alphabet backwards when he was 2 years old. He knew a lot of his colors. So there's no way any mother, woman can tell me that's impossible. I am living proof.
Certainly. And I've heard stories as well where both the mother and the father would talk to their baby while the mother was carrying the child before it came out of his womb, out of his mother's womb. Yes. And everything that you said, reading books to them, everything from the Bible to encyclopedias to everything. And because of that, that's why their children came out and wound up being open door students, accelerated classes.
Yes.
And and as you said, being able to speak different languages, foreign languages fluently, not just speak here and there, but speak it fluently. So I certainly, and that right there is, in a way, to me,
Yes.
Is speaking life and pouring life into your children, because as I've said before, the heart, the mind, and the soul of man is a garden. And whatever, and whatever you read, whatever you listen to, whatever you watch, that's the water. And you have to be very, very careful with what you water your garden with, as well as fertilize your garden with, because everything is so weaponized now. Everything from what we watch, what we listen to, our religions is weaponized against us. The music we listen to is indeed weaponized. So that's why I say all the time, we have to be very, very careful by what we listen to, what we read, because if we're not careful and precise, and most importantly, if we're not prayerful about it, we certainly will get ourselves caught up in things that we will never have thought we would have gotten caught up in. And sometimes people never get out of that trap. They die right in that trap as well. True.
Yes.
You know. Would you like to elaborate on what I said? If you want, please feel free. Feel free. Speak by all means.
You know, my thing is, raising a child to me is you have to start from the bottom. And when I say the bottom, it's like, what have you been taught as a child? Because if it's something that made you feel good and you did good from doing the productive active activities with that, you're going to continue working through and sending all that positivity out to children in your neighborhood. You're going to tell your children about it, and then so forth. You know, I strive on not just educating my children rather. I'm gonna let you guys know I have 3 babies. Just, I have 3 babies. I have Myron, my prince, and I have my niece, which I had adopted. Her name is Nola. And I have my little baby, I'll let you say what she is. My little one that's controlling the household right now, Olivia. And she's 2. And guess what, y'all? I teach her. She may try to get off with it. She'll fall asleep, act like she's asleep when I come towards her way. But we work on educational things. Myron, right now, we're still working on his own little clothing line and things like that. I'm kind of slow with, I don't want to get a storefront, but we're working on that. Trying to make him a little CEO. But he still got to keep his grades together. I see Deke, my brother-in-law, that's my brother-in-law, Baron.
Yes.
Baron. Like he said, Myron's at a 9th grade level. Myron's going to be 12 years old, guys. 12 years old. And he's at a 9th grade level. My son, he's fantastic. And I love him. I love all my children. I not only homeschool my babies, I homeschool Brother Baron, his children, and my older sister, her younger children. And yeah, I'm very busy, even though I'm at home working. So, and don't get me wrong, I do have help. I do. I have a good team of help with them.
Yeah, she really does. She does. she listen, if she didn't have a great team that's aiding and assisting her, she would not be bragging to me about them at all. If anything, she would be telling me that she's getting ready to fire somebody else. So That is not the problem at all. Is that she has great help. They have a great nanny. That she's doing an excellent job. There's a few observations. Brother Barron also has a question. He asked, "Can we talk about how your parents taught you to deal with your relationship?" And the James family on the YouTube side, I think this is Mrs. James. She says, "I met Marla and she is a beautiful woman inside and out. She smells fabulous and respectful and educated as well."
Oh, thank you.
And Daniel P says, "Children know if they feel wanted or not.
Yes.
If they don't feel wanted, most don't want anything, just living the moment of life while searching and longing to be wanted. Thus, they try and find it in a toxic death path of destruction." He's absolutely right. He's spot on.
Yes, so sad, but true. But true, Daniel. So true. I guess I'll go backwards. Daniel, like I said, I work with different schools, and I have met so many different types of children, and they wasn't bad. They were good children. They just had a lot of issues, and it wasn't even their issues. It was their parents or their guardians' issues that poured down into them. So if you can tell when children are going through and everything, you can tell just looking at them and their actions. And they just need to be loved, but not just one day. You have to love them every day. So yeah, toxic death path of destruction is so correct.
Sadly. And you know something? Allow me to piggyback off of what you, Lady Marla, and Daniel explained. That's another reason why I preached to our babies on yesterday. That sermon was exclusively for our babies and children. Now, I'm not saying that you all have not, especially you, Marla, I'm not saying that you don't speak life into your children. I know for a fact you do. But yesterday, I felt compelled. I felt moved to preach to our babies. In addition to the tragic deaths of all of these other precious children that's going on in the world right now. And Daniel P just gave me my next reason as to why I preached it. Because these young people, they need us. And you know what? We need them too. Because, as I said, we need, these are our kids. We're going to be gone someday.
Ooh.
You know, we're going to be gone someday. And before we leave this world, we have to get it to the point that once we're gone and we have things already established. Listen, we got to have our children prepared. That's why it's always important to teach them the right things, guide them, lead them. Because, you know, even though they're children now, they're small children, or whatever they may be, they are going to always remember the relationship that the parents or the guardians had with them. They're going to remember whether or not it was positive or negative.
So true.
They're going to remember whether it started off negative, but the parents saw the error of their ways and the relationship improved, and then they made amends, or it started off positive, but tragically and sadly, it got worse because of whatever reasons. And then there were just parents that just don't give a shit. that just don't care. That's why I pride myself, albeit I don't have any biological kids of my own. If it's in my power, I'm giving an example. If it's in my power, if I see a child in trouble, you think I'm just going to stand there and sit there, desensitize, and let that child waste away? Absolutely not.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm being honest. I'm quicker to kill an adult in defense of a child.
Yes.
Than I am an adult. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to allow for an adult to die. But when it comes down to children, if I see anybody harming a child, if you receive a collect phone call, that's me calling you from jail because I just got through beating the hell out of somebody about a child, and I'm gonna need you to bail me out.
Oh Lord.
I'm just being honest. Being honest. But hopefully it won't ever get like that. But just in the event that it does, yeah, you'll know.
We have to pray for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a Bible in one hand and a knife in the other one.
Yeah.
I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. Kind of. No. But let's see. There's a couple of questions that Brother Barron asked. Can we talk about how your parents taught you to deal with your relationship? And I think this is Mrs. James asked. This question goes to you, my dear. The question to you, love, is can you speak about how you feel about possibly being first lady?
Okay.
So which question do you want to answer first?
I want to answer Deacon Barron question next. Can we talk about my parents taught me to deal with your relationship? Well, my parents, my mom, she never really spoke. She just sighed with my dad. She would sit there, nod her head, and then when she do say something, she'd be like, yeah. That's all she say. So my dad, yeah. Dealing with my relationship. Well, you know what? Like I told Joseph, my dad would not like him. My dad didn't like no one. Barron knows that. He didn't like no man. When no man good enough for his daughters. And so, but I think Joseph would have won him over. So it just took time. He would have won him over. What I take from my parents about a relationship is that the man is the head of the house. The man is the head of our relationship, especially if we're married. Then I follow my mom's footsteps of her actions. You're supposed to cater to your husband. You're supposed to cater to your household, make everything is in place, love your babies.
You toxic females hear this? Do you toxic females hear this? My lady is giving your brain dead carcasses a lesson, and you need to listen. I'm sorry, love. Go ahead. And stop being struggle faces at that. I'm sorry. You can go now. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord. It's just about loving your husband, and they taught me to love him in different ways. They wasn't bluntly about it, but I understood as I got older. Love your husband in different ways, and listen to him. Don't expect for him to be how you want him to be. I have to learn how to accept him for who he is, as long as he's being the right man, the right household, the right man for that household. And it's about just loving yourself. If you love yourself, ladies, everything else will fall in place with your husband. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. as I got older, and keeping your stuff together on the outside also.
That's the truth. Because a lot of y'all are struggling. Now, my sister asked me one time, why you say everybody be struggling? Because everybody ain't winning.
Oh, Lord.
That's the truth. Everybody ain't winning, period. Bar none. They ain't winning. Now,
yes.
Now, if I may answer Brother Barron's question, the way I learned how to navigate this relationship, it started, through observation when I was growing up as a kid with my parents and their marriage. There was a lot of holes in their marriage. There was a lot of holes in that marriage. And I'm not trying to throw my father or my mom under the bus. I'm not. But one of the things that I learned is, certainly you treat one another with respect. Because respect, it goes a long way. And in a lot of ways, a lot of instances, respect goes further than like. And it goes deeper than love. You don't necessarily have to like somebody, or you don't necessarily have to love somebody to respect them. That's why I said respect goes further than like and love.
So true.
For both the men and the women, if you want to enter into a relationship, you have to first make sure that your relationship with the Most High and yourself is on point.
Yes.
Because if it's not on point, you are going to rely solely and heavily on that person that you have selected as your mate. And what if they let you down? What if they walk away from you? What I'm really saying is that they're not responsible for your happiness. Your happiness and your joy starts with you. Now they can add on to that. They can be a blessing to your life.
Yes.
And I think a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships right now at this hour, at this moment in this world, you have a lot of marriages where both parties are just absolutely miserable. It's a sexless marriage.
Yes.
You only one person in the marriage is willing to make it work, wanting to make it work. Meanwhile, the other one is acting like they're single and playing the field and, being a free agent, and one of the things that I learned that has helped me to be a better man for myself first.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I become a better man for myself, then I'll be able to be more effective as Marla's man.
Amen.
Is you have to make sure, again, I can't stress this enough. You have to make sure that your relationship with the Most High and yourself is on point. And then you just can't get into a relationship because you're lonely. You have to get into a relationship because you're ready.
Right.
You know, because too many people use other people as demonic devices, you know, and they're not healed from the past traumas that they suffered before they met this person. And there have been a lot of times where not with me, but I've seen it with other people where they've told me they met the right person, but it was at the wrong time because they were still dealing with trauma. Not necessarily when it comes down to their health, not necessarily when it comes down to their finances, but they still are overcoming that broken relationship, the first relationship. And there's a lot of mental illness that has gone unchecked and has gone undiagnosed. And I think that's also another reason why a lot of people are miserable in relationships. They're rushing their healing. You know, that's why it took me a long time to finally be in a relationship, you know, and I learned that you can't judge your present relationship based on your last, and don't crucify the one you're with for the past mistakes of somebody else. You can't do that, because if you do, then you're going to sabotage your relationship before it even gets started. So to answer you, I hope I answered that question clearly and precisely as I could. I just learned how to navigate this relationship through trial and error from the observations of my parents. And my mom taught me a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts. My dad taught me a lot more don'ts than do's. Yes. So, and I really don't feel comfortable getting too in depth right now.
Right.
But I will say, if my father was alive, he would tell me, son, learn from my mistakes.
Yes.
Don't make the same mistakes as me. And then remember this also too, son. You are not me. You are you. Don't try and do things exactly the way I did it, because you live in a different era and I live in a different era. I can't teach you. I can't share with you the same principles that worked during my time, because it wouldn't work in your time. So that's how I've been able to become more effective in our relationship on my end.
And I would like to just add a little bit more to that. I and Joseph, we have a lot of things in common. And I think we learned this earlier on, you know, as we didn't even have a relationship. We weren't even saying we were in a relationship yet. We were just getting to know one another.
Right.
You know, some sad things and some good things. Like both our parents are not here no more.
Right.
You know, we both miss all of our parents. But at the same time, it could be a good thing, because all the legacies they left behind for us to live on, to live with. We both been married. I've been married twice. Joseph been married once.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we both learn from that also. And we question one another. You know, we question, believe me, ladies, this man right here questioned me about every snippet. He'll tell me when I'm feeling sad, why, Marla, what's wrong with you? He'll call me, Marla, what's wrong with you? I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Yes, it is. You know, but and I love that he pays attention. And it's just not pays attention. You know when the love starts coming in, when your I hate to call it partner because we're not in business together. When your special person in your life can acknowledge and identify what's going on with you, that's a good thing also. And the reason why, because I know Joseph always talks about relationships. So since I said it, I'm going to say it. I was married twice. My first husband, he was in a situation in the service. He died. I got married to my second husband, and I divorced him. But if you ask me, by law, I divorced him. But if you ask me on my end, he divorced me when he cheated. Yes, ladies, I was cheated on. Yes. Uh, so, in a bad situation, Lord forbid, something had happened with him when he had passed away. Not going to get into that, but so, it's not like that. I'm in this relationship with this man, with Joseph, and in the Bible, it speaks about if your husband or your spouse is still living, your former spouse, you're not supposed to marry something like that. You know the Bible, Bible.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah. So it's not like I'm just picking up and running over here to Joseph, marry me, so yes.
Let me also say this right quick. I think when we both first started going in the direction of a romantic relationship, both of us had our guards up.
Yes.
We both had our guard up. The thing is, we both are very, very cautious because we just didn't believe in just jumping in head first in a relationship.
Yes.
Because, like I said before, you just don't want to be in a relationship, just because you're lonely. You're in a relationship because, it's not good for man to be alone,
Right.
And but at the same time, you don't want a shameless woman in your life either. Just like you don't want a reckless man or reckless male in your life, and you don't want a shameless female in your life.
Yes.
And both of us believes in the institution of marriage.
Yes.
But at the same time, simultaneously, we also understand, just from observing human nature, men are in love. Men are romantics, hopeless romantics. Whereas females are in business.
Yes, I agree with that.
They're in business, meaning a lot of times they're just incapable of loving. A lot of them are incapable of loving, because I say because the example of it is these females killing their children. Number one. Number two, another example of it is, it's not working out with the baby's father. The marriage didn't work out. Then you divorce him. You financially and economically crucify him and castrate him, leaving him in economic dire straits, in subhuman poverty, poverty levels. Yes. And a lot of men are not getting married. That's why I've always stressed to a man, I said, listen, if you want to get married, you have to be very, very careful. Right. Because it's not just predatory on the part of the women, it's predatory on the men as well. Men and women are both predators. We're living in a very predatory era now, and all have to be careful.
Right.
And in addition to that, I've also learned that be very, very protective.
Yes.
You have to protect one another, not just from social media, but in real life too. You have to be able to protect one another because if you're not capable of protecting one another, then certainly the relationship is not going to last very long. It's not. And so I've learned, through trial and error, observing the marriage and the relationship with my parents, and even my own marriage when I was married at the time. So between those marriages, I've also learned the do's and the don'ts, the ifs and the if nots, the whys and the why nots. And then let me say this also, especially if you're married and especially if you're in relationships, don't be telling people your business.
Right.
Do y'all hear me? Don't be telling people your business. Keep folk out your business, because once the situation dies down, she's forgiven you, you forgiven her. Guess what? The people that you run your mouth to, they still hold animosity, they still hold a grudge against her or against you. So keep everybody else out your marriage and your relationship, and only keep the Most High in it. Yeah. Also.
Yes. And also, just to add a little bit more, I know I keep going back and forth to that. When me and my second husband, when we learned that we was having babies, actually I was pregnant with twins, and one of them had passed on. A lot of my friends, Joseph brought up friends, they was like, oh, you should file child support on him and all this stuff. But see, ladies, we don't always have to file child support, because not just getting a little money that you may get from him, you're putting the government and all these other people in your business, and it's just going to be so crazy. It's going to be hard to get out of it. So I didn't file child support on him. And even though Joseph knows the story, even though he hurt my feelings, he cheated on me, and I didn't know how to accept that. I never been cheated on. My first husband didn't cheat on me. I didn't put him out, and he did have a good job. I didn't put him out. I let him stay there until he got my nerves. Then he went to the guest house. So other than that, I wanted him to still be around for our daughter. So I just felt that was best.
Certainly. And let me say this, and we're going to move on to the next. There's about 2 or 3 more questions, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna move on to the next 2 or 3 questions, and get ready to wrap it up, because time is getting away from both of us, for all of us actually. People ain't getting married because they've been using child support as a jip game, as their come up. That's why a lot of men continue to boycott marriages, relationships. I completely understand. I get it. I completely get it. And it's gotten so bad until now. And I find myself even cautious around dames at work, at my places of employment. I'm very, very cautious, because they do not hesitate and won't hesitate to lie on you and get you Me Too. Because look at what happened to Michael Irvin, Hall of Fame football wide receiver. His TV career is over with over a lie. A lie. When he was proven innocent And see, that's the fault of these blasted feminists. Their objective was to obliterate and annihilate and assassinate the family structure. In their community, mission accomplished. But in the process of it, they have chased men away, preaching this nonsense, talking about, I'm strong and I'm independent and I don't need no man. I don't need no man. These are the same types of females that wants to be a man and wants to prove that they can do everything that a man can do and do it even better. Not understanding that you can't, because we are built differently. And it's a proven fact scientifically, men are physically stronger than a woman. This has nothing to do with being sexist. This has everything to do with being a realist. So when a man understands his role as a man, and when a woman understands her role as a woman, and they have a healthy, blissful, joyful marriage, where the Most High himself is in it and everybody else is out, then and only then will the relationship and the marriage work.
Yes.
So, okay, we got about 3 or 4 more questions, and then we're getting ready to wrap it up. I don't know. I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed myself.
I have too. I really, excuse me. I really have also.
She was concerned about me being my usual fire breathing, trash talking.
Oh Lord.
Anti-Seabiscuit, anti-struggle face self, anti-struggle bot self, anti-swamp donkey self. But
oh Lord. You're doing good, baby. You're doing good.
I'm doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best that I can. I think this question comes from Mrs. James. She says, can you speak about how you feel about possibly being first lady?
Okay. Being first lady, possibly. I think I can handle that title, that position. I am very into biblically, conversations, and I think I can handle being a first lady. I know there's a lot for me to learn a lot about, but I am a lady. I've always been told by a lot of people that I am a lady. I know how to conduct myself. I know how to have conversations with the best, on many different topics. So I think I can handle it.
I think she can handle it also. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not just saying this just to hear myself talk or bust my gums. She will make a better first lady than first ladies that have been so-called first ladies for 50, 60 some odd years.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And this is no cap. This is no funny business. I'm just saying it's the truth, because it takes a special kind of a woman, not a female, but a woman, to be a minister's wife. Because being a minister's wife means you're in leadership also.
Yes.
You're not only leading other women, but you're leading young women as well. You're leading young women. You know what I mean? And when you lead other women, the women and the young ladies and the little girls, they look up to you as them being, as you being their leader, you know.
Right.
And it entails more than just wearing these big old fruit basket looking wearing hats and these wigs and these extensions. And you know, it entails more than just the outside. It takes a certain maturity. It takes a certain level of understanding of a woman. Of women understand women.
Yes.
And a lot of y'all don't like each other. I'm gonna throw that out there too. Now, now look, if it don't apply, let it fly. But the fact is, even I know that since women understand other women and they don't like each other because y'all are always in competition with each other about something or someone. That's why it takes a very, very special woman to be first lady. Everybody can't be a preacher's wife. Everybody can't. Everybody can't be a preacher's wife. Point blank. Period. So it takes somebody very, very special. It takes a unique person, and I think Lady Marla would be an excellent first lady.
Thank you,
because she exhibits certain qualities and characteristics of it, you know. And again, I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. Period. And then a lot of first ladies are first ladies, and they ain't got no business being first ladies because all they want is attention. They do. All they want is attention on themselves. And they really don't love their preacher husbands. They love his position of power. They love his position of power and prestige. They don't necessarily love him. They love his position of power. They love the prestige. And as long as he's able to keep the power and the prestige, then yeah, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if by chance he screws up, a lot of women, a lot of females are hypergamous in nature. They're going to be monkey branching right to the next bloodsucker, the next victim, because they themselves are bloodsuckers. I'm just telling it like it is.
Yes.
So I think she will make an excellent first lady. She's a first lady in training now. Look at everything that she's been doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, but definitely. How you doing, Sister Nadia? Thanks for joining us. She asked the question, will I be singing at your wedding? Can you sing? Because I'm going to tell you something. If you can't sing, I love you, but no.
She want me to answer that question?
You can answer it if you want to. I've answered it on my end.
Well, sister, I spoke to Joseph about this before, and I would think it would be best for you to sing at our private family, engagement.
I got to hear you sing first. I got to hear her sing.
But it'd be private.
Now she has a melodious voice, and I'm like, all right, we gonna fix it. We gonna put you in there somewhere. At least you're getting an honest response versus a lie. Period. I am who I am. I'm being honest with you. Just being honest.
Oh.
Let's see. She says, let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, one day I have to hear you then. I have to hear you. I'll have to hear you. And see, let me also or rather add on a little bit more when it comes down to being a first lady. Well, not necessarily first lady, but also a deacon's wife. You have to understand there's a lot of good women in the world, I believe, still, but because they are good women in character, that doesn't qualify them to be a first lady or a deacon's wife or a trustee's wife.
Right.
And I'm not knocking, you understand? I'm not knocking, all the honorable women that's in the world. I'm not. But just because somebody may be a good person, that doesn't make them qualified to be a wife of a CEO, a minister, especially a minister in a ecclesiastical setting. And I say this because I also understand that the ecclesiastical setting, the church, is under some serious scrutiny. And it has been under some serious scrutiny for a long time. Mm-hmm. The reason being is because the church at large has failed both the Most High and failed the parishioners, because the ministers have acted so unbecomingly to be a member of the fraternal order of clergy. Because you have clergymen that want to be rock superstars instead of just simply being men of the cloth, instead of them, men and women also, as a matter of fact, and people got to understand everybody's not meant to be a preacher. Everybody's not meant to be a deacon. We all have talents and abilities, but we have to find it. We have to take the time, and we have to be disciplined enough to find it. See? So, but again, even in times such as these, you see her works, you see what she's doing. So, and I'm speaking of Marla. I mean, she's a first lady in training anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, look at what she continues to do. So that's what I want to say as well. And she's a lady. She's a jack of all trades. She's a woman of many hats, woman of many titles. So certainly, again, I think she will make an excellent first lady.
Thank you, baby.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think this is from Sister James again. Can you tell us a little more about India? Can you tell us a little about India?
Sure. Let me see, where do I start? Well, India is described as a country which is a unity of diversity, but it is compressed of a wide variety of individuals who belong to different religions, speaking different languages. Let me see. They practice different traditions, and also have casted worship and things like that, different gods. They wear, like the United States, they wear different type of lot of clothing, they eat different foods. There's a lot of things about India that I learned that the United States does the same thing, almost. Although India is a compressed of different things, different individuals, diverse traits and practices with the individual lives together, peace and harmony in India. And also, since you brought that up, India just recently just lost over 200 and plus people on the train. I didn't tell Joseph this. This is just what, just last week, this past week.
200 people
plus on a train accident or something.
Sheesh.
I learned that over the weekend, 3 of those people was my family from India. I just learned that over the weekend.
I'm sorry, hon.
Yeah. And then, also with India, we have different similarities between classical China and classical India. It's a lot to learn about India and all the different things and the stereotypes of Hinduism, and it's a lot of interesting things. My brother-in-law, Darren, he said he would never go back to India. He just didn't like it.
Oh boy.
So he said he would never go back there. But to answer Sister Jane's question, I hope I answered your question. It's a lot of things to learn about India. I can't put it all in one setting. Maybe one day you can travel there with us.
I'm sorry, darling. Let me also address this pink elephant in the room. Now this happened some time back where somebody asked about my lady's nationality. She's half Jamaican and she's half Indian.
Yes. And I've been in the United States since I was like 6, 7 years old, for what my parents say, 6, 7 years old.
Her father was Jamaican.
Yes.
Jamaican are black folk.
Yes.
Her father was a black man.
Yes.
And according to the scripture, to paraphrase what the scripture says, whatever nationality the father is, that is what his children are. So by her father being Jamaican and Jamaican being black folk, that make her black.
Right.
She black. The end. And her sisters are black.
Oh, Lord.
Now that I've gotten that pink elephant out of the room, I shot it between the eyes. We can move on. Let's see. Here. Let's see. Let's see. This interview has just turned into Sister James interviewing both of us. She asked, with both of you being so strong-minded, how do you deal with it?
Oh.
That's a good question. Go ahead, Dolly. You answer that.
Okay. How do we deal with that?
By both of us being so strong-minded, how do you deal with it?
Well, I listen first because I like to have don't get me wrong when I'm going to say, I was going to say I like to have the last word, but I don't have the last word. I just like to listen to what he's fully saying so I can go in and say what I want to say to what he presented. So how do I deal with that? I just listen. I do speak. And Joseph, I was just telling you my female friend almost said the same thing, remember?
Mm.
And you know what you said about that. But we both listen. I can say we both listen to one another. What do you think, Joseph?
Yes, we do. We do listen to each other. We do. I will admit there have been times where we misunderstood.
Yes.
Sometimes, and there was miscommunication.
Yes.
But you know,
but I think
we would always, get it straight. We would always straighten it out.
Right. And I also believe, depending on the topic of what it is.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, because ladies, y'all, we used to do Bible study, our private Bible study before when I got sick. Did I get sick?
Yeah.
Okay, we did the private Bible, oh Lord, Bible study. We used to take turns on who's leading the Bible study.
You know what? We got to start doing that again.
Yes.
Yes. I just got to figure out the perfect time to do it.
But we be having so much on our plate.
Yeah, we got a lot. Hard. We got a lot. We really do.
Because when we get on the phone with one another, we're so tired that we're falling asleep. When I get into bed, you like, Marla, you're going to sleep.
There have been times where we've gone to sleep on each other.
Yes.
Not deliberately.
Right.
But we have gone to sleep on each other. And then the phone hung up. Then it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I gotta get up. So
but then you work and you get out in the field. So you working 7 days a week. And not just talking about punch somebody's clock, and then you come on the air and you speaking or you teaching or you preaching. That's a drainage by itself.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to make sure our relationship is still, intact. Discussing various things.
Right.
Yeah. And so, like Joseph said, I'm a lady in training, first lady in training. He's a dad in training, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
Huh? What you say?
You're a dad in training, a father in training. Because Joseph always asks about the children. Yes, you are. What do you think? I'm gonna tell you why I said that, because he always asks about the children. He always he prays for them. He always asks all kinds of questions about them. Sometimes he'll ask questions about them. Sometimes, not all the time. Before he asks me about me, sometimes that don't happen a lot.
Let me also. I'm sorry, darling. Hold that thought for just a second. There's another pink elephant that I got to shoot between the eyes in this room. Let me say this for all these soggy dudes talking about, man, you a simp. You a simp. First off, shut the hell up and pay attention, and you might learn something. In the situation with these children, unfortunately, both of their respective fathers are gone. They're deceased.
Right.
Remember, I said some time ago, a while back, listen. For those that are focused on looking for virgins, good luck on trying to find a virgin in this day and age. Because the fact is, the woman that you are interested in mating with, chances are she's going to have at least 1 to 2 children. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, you have to consider also, you will not, I repeat, you will not be the first man that she laid down with. The objective, if the relationship is healthy and you all understand each other, is for her to be your last and for you to be her last.
Right.
Remember, tragedies in life happen. It happens.
Yes.
And I understand why you guys object having relationships, because there's a lot of dudes that's still sleeping with their baby mamas. They can hit it and quit it anytime they want to. But at the same time, you got to understand that there are some women that are widows.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes widows have children. And I also understand that you wouldn't like to be with a woman that already has a made ready family. You want a child. You want to have a child of your own. You want to start your own legacy. I respect that. I get it. But don't be so unrealistic until you don't understand sometimes. Look, some women are widows, and some widows have children. And if anything, a widow with children is more pure than women that have multiple children and got multiple mismatched baby daddies. I know I just stepped on your toes, but get your feet soaked and feel better soon. I get it. There's a lot of women that are reckless. There's a lot of women that's promiscuous. I get it. But for you to wanting to find a virgin in this day and age, stop. And in a way, for you to want to have a virgin in your life is noble in ideology. It's noble. It sounds good. It's honorable in ideology. But realistically speaking, you're not going to find a virgin hardly. You are going to find a woman with at least one child. And you also are going to find a woman in a previous marriage or a previous relationship. The man has his DNA imprinted in her forever. Now, as long as that woman is psychologically stable and as long as that woman is healthy, who gives a crap what other people think? Because a lot of these dudes also are miserable as hell as hot because they are interested in a woman and they don't have the guts or the testicular fortitude to approach that woman. And then they still are stuck in 6th grade when they had their hearts broken, or they were in high school when they had their hearts broken. Get the hell over it and move on. Man up. And stop judging every woman, and stop being socially awkward and stop being on social media all the doggone time. I'm sorry, hon. I'm done.
Oh, and also that was great, though, sweetheart. Also, I was just gonna add a little bit to that. That also with him being a father, like you say, I'm a lady in training, first lady in training. My children, they know when Wednesdays come up, they be ready. My son at breakfast Wednesday morning, he's like, "Mom, we're gonna be on Bible study with Mr. Joseph." I was like, "Yeah." They be wanting to take over the computer. I have to, And then when my little sister come over, she plays the piano. They be acting like they just having church of their own, And
how is Giselle doing? I hadn't seen her pop on here in a minute.
Giselle is doing fine, y'all. She's working on her fashion show for the end of June. She was in New York with our oldest sister not too long ago. She still has her own boutique where she do custom made clothing. She just gave out, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 50 to 70 something students for suits for prom for the guys. So she donated them to students, and she's doing well. Many didn't know she had a baby. She got a son. He's doing fine, getting big, spoiled, Yeah. She's still in church and she is still trying to keep it together.
Tell her she could have at least given me a letter of resignation. She didn't just have to walk off.
She didn't walk off. She just stepped away.
She's fired. No.
She's still waiting for the building, so she can she waiting on the position for to be the organist. Yeah.
But to answer, wow, we've been on for almost 2 hours. Let me go ahead and answer Sister James' question, and we can wrap things up.
Okay.
It's all about listening and observation. Look, that's one of the things that we have in common. We're both strong-willed. We both are not going to take no for an answer that easily. It's not happening. Period. And don't get it twisted. There is something about Marla that sometimes she has to have the final word. I'm like that also. Period. But it's all about communication. It's all about comprehension as well. We just don't try to speak only from our respective perspectives. We also try to communicate to understand.
Yes.
And I think that also entails just being able to understand. Comprehension is key.
Yes.
You know, without comprehension, without understanding, again, relationship is not going to be, the relationship is going to be sabotaged.
That's true.
It's going to be sabotaged. Point blank, period. Any other questions? Let's see. We have. Okay. Well, it's 9:30. We've had great dialogue. I certainly have enjoyed myself. And let me say this also, and I'm going to allow for Lady Marla to have the final say, the final 2 cents for tonight when I say this. I hope that all of you either learned something or you were reminded of something. We don't have all of the answers. We're doing the very best that we can. We're human. We're on a sojourn. We're growing and maturing every single day. I'm still going to be very, very protective of her because Marla is not a savage. I am. I don't like confrontations, but I'm more confrontational than she is. That's why it's not a matter of me being ashamed of her. It's a matter of me protecting her from internet bullies. See, I've been bullied by the internet before, but I've gotten on their ass. I've cursed them out. At one point, I almost went as far as to call them on Messenger and tell them about themselves. And see, with the way things are and the way people are, I try my best to live peaceably with all men, and I try to be a man of peace. But when it comes down to throwing hands and laying hands on people in self-defense, I'm all for it. So, is this going to be the first and last time I interview Lady Marla? No, it's not. But I want all of you to know that I'm very protective of her. She's not a savage like I am. I've grown to be a savage. I'm almost 40 years young, and I'm still learning how to be a man. There are a lot of things that I should have been taught growing up as a kid, but I didn't know because my old man didn't know. I don't hold it over his head anymore. But as I've grown older and more mature, I understand things. One thing about me, and then Lady Marla, you can have the final 2 cents when I say this. I've come to realize that when I understand the nature of things and the nature of people, either I grow to love that person a lot more, like with you, or when I understand the nature of things and the nature of people, I treat people accordingly, which means I don't hate you, but it's best that I redefine the nature of my association with them by not having one at all. And a lot of people get things a lot twisted. You can forgive somebody from a distance. You don't ever have to allow them to have access in your life again. So I think because I understand Marla a lot more, I love and respect her more. See, whereas when I also understand people, depending on who the person is, I treat them accordingly. So that's why I'm very, very protective of her, because I understand people. I understand how they think. I understand how they are. I understand. I understand, overstand, comprehend. That's why I operate the way that I operate. And so in the process of this podcast tonight, which I've enjoyed thoroughly, I hope you got something out of it by either you learned something or you were reminded of something. Lady Marla, my dear love, floor is yours.
Thank you. And first, I want to say I thank you for those delightful words and encouragement you always giving me. And I want to say to everybody that I hope that you continue to walk in the footsteps of making yourself better and not worse, and always find somebody like Joseph always say, that like-minded, and continue to, don't forget, get your education, get more educated about everything, everybody.
Yeah, don't be a dumbass.
Your life will be a lot better because you'll feel better about yourself. Have a good night.
And that, folks, shoot, I didn't even get my outro. Let me get set up. But seriously, folks, I hope you did get something out of this podcast tonight. It has been an absolute thrill for both her and myself.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that you will continue on learning from us both. And if you're in Dallas, Texas, at the end of July, go and see Lady Marla and hear her. That's another thing I wanted to ask. How long have you been a motivational speaker?
I've been a motivational speaker 14 years.
Okay.
14 years. Myron is 11, going to be 12, 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that a little bit more. Next time I bring you on, we're gonna talk about that too.
Yes.
So, but thank you, darling, for coming on. I do appreciate you for coming on. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate you for coming on. This will certainly not be the last time. And yes, my dear, I do love you.
Thank you for having me, and I love you also, sweetheart.
And that, my friends, is the bottom line. Well, folks, it has been a ball for the both of us, but the clock on the wall says that is all for now. Thank each and every one of you for listening. Special thanks again to Lady Marla Johnson. Thank you for all that you do. And for the rest of y'all, especially you heathens that likes to listen in the shadows, thanks for listening. And for the rest of y'all that are loyalists, peace and blessings to all of y'all. Until next time, I'm Yosef X. That's been my 2 cents. Y'all have a good night. Peace. I'm out.